Coming up next, the Bookening reads Orient Express, comma, Murder on the. As fresh as a daisy and finally feeling so much better. In those last 2 weeks, I felt like, something terrible. What did I feel like, Danny? Give us a metaphor.
You felt like you got run over by a train?
I felt like I got run over by the murder on the Orient Express, as I believe the train was called in this novel.
Like you got stabbed 12 times.
I felt like I got stabbed 12 times. But now I feel great. I'm happy to be joining you guys for our 3rd episode about Murder on the Orient Express. My name is Nathan Alberson. If I didn't already say that, I am your humble and obedient host. As humble and as obedient as they come. And I am joined today by some fantastic panelists. First of all, we have our regular crew of panelists. The first one of those, his name is Brandon Chasteen. He's the scholar who's a baller of reading, baby. What's up, Brandon?
Not that much, Nathan.
How you doing today, my friend?
Great.
What's your favorite color?
Blue.
That's good.
Yeah.
Brandon?
Uh-huh.
I think you're a swell guy.
I think you are too, Nathan.
Jake Menzel is also here. He's the pastor who is an apprentice of reading?
No.
A guildsman of reading? No. A craftsman of reading?
No.
No. A mistress of reading, perhaps?
No.
Then what else could he be but the pastor who is a master of reading? Hello, Jake.
Hey, Nathan.
When I said I felt better, it wasn't true.
Oh, that's too bad. I was about to tell you I was glad that you're feeling better.
I mean, I feel good, actually. I just feel really out of it. So if this episode goes to some weird places, I have an excuse.
Can't imagine it will.
I don't think anything will happen in this episode. Now, guys, we are also joined by a member of the sex that I like to refer to as the gentle sex, the fair sex, the distaff side of life.
What?
Distaff is a word.
Okay.
Look it up. Yeah, it's a word for distaff.
The distaff side of life.
A stick or spindle onto which wool or flax is wound for spinning. Boom.
Of or concerning woman.
Yes, it also means of or concerning woman.
Wow.
And, well, that's what she is. She's a lady. She's here. And she's providing a feminine perspective for once. All you people that have been complaining, why don't you guys ever have a woman on to talk about Jane? No, we'll never have a woman on to talk about Jane Austen. Women don't deserve to read Jane Austen. Jane Austen, no one deserves to read Jane Austen except for me. She's my girlfriend, and she's...
All right, Nathan. Calm down.
I want her to be alive and married to me so bad, Brandon.
I know, Nathan. I know.
But instead she's dead and single.
Yeah, but at least you're alive and single.
Yeah. I am alive and single. That's an interesting fact about me. I'm alive and single.
Alive and available.
You know what? I think the church really needs to pay much more attention to me as a single man.
Why don't you write a blog post about that?
Yeah, I think I should write a blog post. No blog posts have ever been written about how single people don't get paid enough attention to in the church, Danny.
Noted.
I really hate those single people that write whiny blog posts.
I understand.
I was using irony. I was pretending to be one of them.
It's a good literary tool.
Mm-hmm. Used by A.A. Milne. Hey, Danny. Danny McNeely's here. She's a girl. She's joining our podcast. That's all you need to know about her. She likes Agatha Christie. Hey, Danny, what'd you think about the old Winnie the Pooh?
I like Winnie the Pooh.
Would you consider him to be a silly old Willy old bear?
Yeah, that's part of his charm.
Arguably so. Did you listen to our podcast? You've been known to listen to a bookening or two in your time of shuffling upon this mortal coil.
Indeed.
Did you listen to that Winnie the Pooh episode?
I did.
What'd you think about that Winnie the Pooh episode?
I thought you all were a little hard on Winnie the Pooh.
How would you, if you'd been there, if the glass ceiling had been broken then, and you'd parachuted in through that ceiling, not getting stopped by the glass, but
I think I go up through this ceiling.
That's true. If we were all standing on a broken glass ceiling and you jumped up like a kung fu fighter. Mm-hmm. One interesting piece of trivia about Danny, she only travels by backflip.
And Vespa. When needed.
When needed. I'm sure it won't be needed in this podcast, though.
We'll see.
We'll see. What were we talking? Oh, Winnie the Pooh. Why'd you think we were hard on her?
I really enjoy
Winnie the Pooh's a man.
stories.
I'm sorry. Why'd you think we were hard on him? Winnie the Pooh's an androgynous stuffed bear.
Yeah, but it's called he.
Right.
I don't know. My kids enjoy Winnie the Pooh. I don't think Milne was writing to adults to make fun of children.
So that part at the beginning that really bothers everyone in this room, where it's like, Christopher Milne can't spell good. You like that part?
It doesn't bother me as much as it apparently bothers all of you. I know. I mean, I've been in the situation. My kids come and want a bedtime story, and I can't think of one about a dragon and all that. But I think a simple story about your stuffed animals living in a forest and having adventures without you is pretty fun.
So you just think Winnie the Pooh's a good time for the whole family?
I think it's fun. My kids, my daughter especially, loves the story when they switch out Roo and Piglet. She'd listen to that one
Everybody
over and over
loves
again.
that story. Peter mentioned that story in our whatever that episode was.
Peter mentioned
It
that
was on.
story, but Peter thought that story was funny because Kinga didn't know that Piglet was Piglet and not Roo.
Which is wrong.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Like Peter did.
Kinga absolutely knew that Piglet was Piglet and
Yeah.
was mocking Piglet and was teaching him a lesson.
Danny, are you trying to say that your children are much smarter than Jake's children?
I am not trying to say that. I will say that my kids have mostly listened to Winnie the Pooh in a dramatized recording. So that might be some of the fun of it. Is Stephen Fry reads Winnie the Pooh and he's hilarious. I think they enjoy that a lot. And we really love Milne's poetry, which we didn't talk about, but it's really good.
We didn't.
We love
And Milne's poetry is
poetry, too.
amazing.
We read, did you ever listen to our poetry episode?
I did. And when my daughter turned 6, we had her read, and now I am 6.
See, so A.A. Milne holds a special place in our heart with the poetry.
But he's also just really funny. He's not just
he is funny.
heart.
But you couldn't
No,
see this
yeah,
over
yeah.
the podcast because it's an audio medium, but
What?
there were tears
As
when
we-
that was read.
Maybe we're the only ones who have the version of Winnie the Pooh where A.A. Milne kicks Christopher Robin down the stairs and then makes fun of him.
And then laughs at him. Yeah.
Spits on him.
That really bothers
Yeah, I
us,
haven't
though.
read that part before. Must be a different translation.
Right. Winnie the Pooh is only really good in the original German. And maybe we should have said that they were reading Winnie the Pooh in German to their kids. That might have been a good context to give.
You know, I think my children would not enjoy Winnie the Pooh in German as much as they do in
Yeah,
English.
Actually, come to think of it, I may have just been reading the Metamorphosis.
We're going to have to go back and redo that episode. No. Here's the thing, Danny. Carry it back to your tribe of females. Will you take a message for me to the females
Yep,
of the
back
world?
to my tribe.
Take
Yep.
it back to them. Tell the females. They liked Winnie the Pooh. That's what the females don't understand. They're like, oh, those guys, they just don't understand or hate Winnie the Pooh. We all liked it a lot. We just, for the sake of discussion, we even say at some point in the podcast, we're like,
We're gonna sound harder, yeah.
This is going to sound a little harder than we really feel, but we're just trying to kind of,
Tease out this one little element of Milne that makes us a little uncomfortable.
but that's like,
Because our kids enjoy listening to stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they like hearing us read them.
You're the one who brought it up.
That's true.
I
Yeah, come
wasn't
on,
I wasn't
Danny,
going to
get
set
off
a
our
fire to the
back.
Bookening.
yeah, Danny, stop bringing Winnie the Pooh
All
up.
Danny said was that she agrees with us that we were a little hard on Winnie the Pooh, which we said we were going to be.
Hear, hear.
All right, you guys ready to keep discussing Murder on the Orient Express?
Let's do it.
Oh boy.
So ready.
All right, Danny, you think you're going to make Mom Who's a Bomb of reading?
I sure hope
We're 3
so.
episodes in now.
I feel like it.
You feel like you're a Mom Who's a Bomb of reading?
I do.
And by bomb, do you mean an explosive
Really good.
device? Oh, you mean like 90s.
Like 90s.
90s
Like
bomb. When it comes to reading, you're, dare I say, off the hook.
you can say that.
The hook.
Off the hook.
Off the chain.
Off the chain.
Too legit to quit.
Too legit to quit. I don't think that anyone's wrong to like Agatha Christie. I think she's really good at what she does, and the more we've talked about her, I mean, I wasn't joking when I said Danny just made me appreciate her more by what she said. I think Agatha Christie's really good at doing what she does, and I get why people like it. When I say with my literal only criticism that I could even begin to think of for Agatha Christie is it's just not really my thing. It doesn't happen to be what I like all that much. But I've tried a number of times because I know a lot of people love it. A lot of people that I respect and that like the kinds of things that I like it. We've been playing it up for the sake of humor, something we never do on the Bookening. But I don't have a problem with Agatha Christie at all. I mean, I'm glad you like Agatha Christie.
So just to get your goat.
Okay.
Couldn't someone say the same thing about
Get my greatest of all time.
King?
What?
Someone could say the same thing about King.
Yeah.
He's not strong on dialogue. Or
No, he's not.
plot. He really kind of is about plot in some of his stuff. So what's the difference for you?
I like monsters.
Okay.
Well, I actually think that's my real answer. I said it in a silly way, but, I mean...
Well, and going back to the introduction, with my favorite movies being British period pieces,
Right.
I think I like that about Agatha Christie.
Yeah.
I don't care for monsters so much.
Well, I mean, one part of literature is just the chance to sort of live in the milieu or a world where you want to live. And sometimes it's just fun to... I think one thing that's fun about Christie, certainly that's fun about watching the movies, is the automobiles, the furniture, the clothing. Again, I think a movie is more fun to immerse in that regard than a book for me, because it's not like, I don't know, it's just fun. The cigarettes that they're smoking, I don't know. They're just the paraphernalia of a different time in a different place is fun. It's one of the reasons that people like Jane Austen, is they just like to imagine living in Jane Austen's world. And I don't think that that's even in the top 50 reasons why you should like Jane Austen, but I know it is why a lot of people, it's like their number one reason is it just seems like they'd like to do carriages and balls, and that's not why I like Jane Austen. I like her for smart, godly reasons. But
because we're little gray cells.
yeah. I've got little gray cells. But little gray cell-less people, they like her for the carriage rides. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with junk food. It's not even junk food. I don't know. Is it junk food? What do you think, Brandon? Junk food?
Is this junk food?
Yeah.
I don't think it qualifies as junk food.
What is it? It's not.
Well, it's not
7-course.
It's not steak and potatoes like Anna Karenina.
Not steak and potatoes like Anna Karenina.
Be a healthy snack.
It's a healthy snack.
What is it, Jake?
Well, I think I was the one who said junk food earlier. I wasn't trying to characterize Christy as junk food.
No. She's a good
I don't
troll.
know. I think she's for the sweet tooth.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
But,
think
well,
but this is the kind of book. So if I were to walk away, if you were to ask me what's my takeaway, is Agatha Christie for me would be fine beach reading, vacation reading, something like that, where I would pick it up, read it, forget it. And it's not going to change my life. It's not going to have any kind of impact on me except be a nice, fun escape and relax and unwind kind of thing to read.
There ain't nothing wrong with that.
Right.
And like Danny said, she said it's, what did you say? You said a healthy snack.
A healthy snack.
It is a healthy snack. That's probably what it is. It's like, It's not McDonald's fries. It's a granola bar or something that's tasty and doesn't hurt your digestive system like a Starbucks coffee.
Yeah, if I think of like that milky thing you drink. If I think of junk food, I'm thinking like Harlequin romances or something that really just is not good for you to read at all.
Well, like with Stephen King, you're going to get a lot more GMOs of sex and violence and stuff that you just don't need to be reading about. Whereas with that,
you're not going to get
any
of that.
Get much of that. So that's nice. She doesn't have a bunch of sex and violence in her other books, does she?
No.
Oh, good.
A lot of poison.
A lot of poisons. Yeah,
a lot of poison.
Variety of them.
The only thing you really get is like the moral content at the end of his decision to allow them to enact vigilante justice on a train.
Which is nice. It gives you something
it's
to
nice
think
to
about.
It's nice to have something to think about.
Gives you something to think about.
Little moral dilemma there.
Yeah.
Would you guys report them to the authorities? Danny, your thoughts? We'll go around the room.
I'll go last. Thanks.
Okay. I didn't give you the choice. No, you can go last. Jake? No, you shouldn't go first because you're the pastor and everyone will just have to copy you to be act. So we'll let Brandon go first.
Would I have
on,
reported them? Yes, I would have reported them.
Oh, you stick in the
He's
mud.
a Texan.
You won't let anybody get away with anything. You're probably the guy that raised his hand in school and was like, "Can we have some? What's our homework assignment for Christmas vacation, Mister?"
I would have walked off into the sunset.
It's totally equivalent to killing a man.
Well, if I were Poirot, what I couldn't get over is the fact that they stabbed him so many times. That was pretty brutal.
It was so nobody would know who actually killed him.
Yeah, but it was still pretty
It's
brutal.
really brutal.
It was a brutal way, and nobody made much of that. The fact that it was a very brutal way for even a horrible person like that to die.
He was a child killer, though, and he got off on a Metallica call.
He was a child killer.
He was going to go scot-free, and you're okay with that, Brandon?
Well, he's a family killer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like one person just decided to take vigilante justice. They did the best they could to provide a court.
They had their jury.
They had their jury.
And they declared
outside
him
of the
guilty.
rule of law.
Outside the rule of law, but the rule of law,
court.
the rule of law does fail sometimes, and this time it had failed. And so they did the best they could to help the rule of law where it had failed.
Would you have let him walk? Would you have let them walk?
Be tempted to let him walk, sure.
Well, yeah, I'd be tempted. The question is whether or not I'd be right? It's like the end of Heart of Darkness.
Right.
It's the moral quandary you have.
Right. Well, I've decided I would tell Mrs. Kurtz but I don't know. What country are we in again when the train stops?
Yugoslavia.
Maybe murder is legal there. You never know.
The whole point of doing it in Yugoslavia
West.
is the police are inept.
Yeah.
Right. And so they're going to be passing through, and then it's going to be out of jurisdiction. And so
I think it's kind of one of those ridiculous questions that I'll probably never have to face in my life. Yes, I think that Christians should obey the rule of law. I think that God gave us the rule of law, and it is important. And when it doesn't ask us to do anything against God's will, we should definitely obey it. The sword was given to people. I do believe all that with all my heart. And I'm thankful that there are laws that keep me from murdering the people that I want to murder. Now, what would I do in this incredibly specific situation? And would I be right to let them off? Maybe what I'm saying is I'd let them off, but maybe I'd be conflicted about it and not know whether I'd done the right thing. But Brandon's saying he would just report them to the police and attend their hanging and laugh.
That is exactly those were my words. And then I'd shoot them. Just for good measure.
Just put a couple in the body, some safety shots, as I like to call them, just to make sure they're dead. Jake, you report them?
Vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. And that means that we are governed not by our own personal sense of justice, but by the rule of law. And sometimes that means bad guys go. And sometimes that means innocent people are harmed. And we have to entrust ourselves to the one who governs the nations and the laws. And that doesn't mean there's not a time to disobey. But yeah, they killed a man. They took it upon themselves to do it.
Who was going to kill more children if they didn't?
You can't make that decision on your own.
They didn't make it on their own. They got a jury together.
And that's what I keep going back to, this BBC production. I don't really know what I think of it. They play a lot with his Catholicism in the BBC production. So it ends, he actually yells at them. He has whatever his
Monsieur Book is how the audiobook guys calls him.
Anyways, he has him actually lock them in the room. And so you don't know until the very end when he goes out and he's in the snow and then he's counting his rosary, and then he goes up and you just see him talking, and then he hands the constable coat to them, or the war, whatever it is, counting his beads and crying. So they play a lot more with the conflict that's here, which is one of the big weaknesses of this, that there is the conflict there, but she just blows right over it. It's just assumed that it's okay, what's going on.
Yeah.
And so that is one thing I really appreciated about this particular version of it, is it's a hard decision that he's making, and I don't think it's the right decision. And then the show, I don't think he thinks it is either.
Yeah. Well, I guess in at least positing an argument for the other side, I'm assuming that in a situation like this would actually be impossible because Ratchet is not a real character. He's thoroughly set up in such a way that you don't feel bad about it. And in real life, it just wouldn't go down like this.
Mm-hmm.
No. But it's so think back to like the Wild West. This isn't any different than a lynching.
No. All right, I have to go before you. I would report him, guys. Actually, I don't know what I would do, but I should report him. How about that? But if Ratchet really was as thoroughly nasty, if there was such a person as thoroughly nasty as Ratchet, I would be very conflicted about it, and I don't know what choice I would make. Danny, I'm going to guess what you're going to say.
I would have killed him myself.
You would have killed him yourself. You wish that Ratchet was real and that you could stick that knife into him like a pig and hear him squeal. Is that...
That is not accurate.
Oh, wait, that was wrong?
No, I would report them.
You would report them.
But I'm guessing based on the complicated evidence and the Yugoslavian police that they get off.
I would actually do what the barrister does in Witness for the Prosecution.
Call a mistrial? I don't remember what he does.
Well, I don't want to ruin it for Jake because he really needs to see Witness for the Prosecution.
I'm not sure I have it.
Basically, well, if you're not sure, then you should watch it at such a time as you'll remember it because it's really good. If I was Poirot, what I would do is I would report them, and then I would be a witness for the defense, and I would be like, Ratchet was a real jerk. And I would
deserved what he got.
I would hope that they would get off. I would hope that the rule of law would be like, you know what? Sometimes you just gotta stab a guy. How about that Ratchet? You like Ratchet, Danny? You were a Ratchet fan? You team Ratchet?
No.
No? Okay. Brandon?
No.
You're an American.
Oh, yeah. Team Ratchet all the way.
The good American values.
Yep.
You probably like to build a wall.
Independence.
Capitalism, yeah. Jake, you like Ratchet? You don't seem real
man.
keen on them killing him.
that's
so
my whole
that must be because
motivation,
you like Ratchet.
Team Ratchet.
You brought all those Bible verses
I'm a
up.
Johnny Depp fan, and
Johnny Depp.
I am being passive aggressive against Kenneth Branagh for casting Johnny Depp as Ratchet. That's clearly what.
Johnny Depp's a great actor.
Oh, really?
I bet even the actors and actresses in the car wouldn't mind.
I think Johnny Depp's actually going to die.
Do we have to use this prop knife? Can we just get a real knife?
Judi Dench.
Jury acquits 12 actors who stabbed
The twist is it's
hated
actually
star.
Poirot is the one who killed him.
Kenneth Branagh.
Kenneth Branagh arranged the whole thing so they could all kill Ratchet.
I like it. You looking forward to that Kenneth Branagh movie? You like the Kenneth Branagh? What's your thoughts about Kenneth Branagh?
He is a talented individual. I don't think I'd want to be friends with him.
Why not?
I think he seems like a pretty pompous dude.
He knows Shakespeare. He's British.
That's true.
What? In Disney movies?
He's justly pompous.
What?
Isn't he
Fairy
behind all the
tales.
Disney remakes?
Nah, he just did the Cinderella remake
yeah.
and knocked it out of the park. Thank you very much.
That was really good.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
It was really, really
Yeah,
good.
really
It
good.
had nothing to do with the Beauty and the Beast?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
Okay. I thought he produced.
Which I have no interest in watching, by the way.
It's all right.
Let's see. In the preview I saw, Emma Watson was very feministic, Belle.
She is a very feministic Belle.
She is.
And Belle in the original is actually, she's very ladylike, even though she's odd.
Yeah. Interesting trivia. The guy that played the Beast,
Teaches at IU.
he does.
Oh, in the old one.
Oh, yeah. That is true. I have heard that trivia before.
And he still has long flowing hair. He tries to really channel the Beast.
Yep.
He's saying like
What's he teach?
Voice.
voice.
Opera.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sings that periodically. He'll sing the national anthem at a basketball or baseball game or something like that. And he'll always be introduced as the guy who played.
I bet he's pretty rich off those royalties.
Mail money.
He's the dude from Downton Abbey, right? Matthew or something like
I
that.
never watched it.
Who?
Beast
Yeah,
in the
Beast.
new
Oh,
live
the
action.
new one.
Live action.
Okay.
Oh, the new. No, but you know what else he did?
What?
He read a certain audiobook called Murder on the Orient Express,
Stop.
which I listened to some of.
Who did?
The Beast.
Oh.
Dan Stevens. He was in a TV show that I liked.
Downton Abbey, probably.
No, it's not.
Yes.
Downton Abbey.
Love those British soap operas.
I like some of them. Thank you very much. I love Brideshead Revisited. I said that weird.
Revisited.
All right, guys. I didn't really know what to ask, but I didn't want to let Danny down. She came all the way down here. She came here. She wants to do the podcast with us. So I got some questions off the internet.
All right.
We're just now starting this part. Good.
Yeah, do it. Now that we're done with our context,
Our baggage check.
our baggage
Yeah,
check.
your baggage has been lightened or something.
Yeah, my
right?
baggage is
It's because I took notes.
because you took notes.
Nice.
Yeah. I got these questions off of schmoop.com. That great literary resource.
Does that make you a schmoop or does it make us schmoops?
I don't know what's a schmoop.
I
Is that
don't
a
know.
Yiddish word?
It sounds Yiddish.
Yeah,
schmoop.
Yeah, schmoop.
It doesn't sound good either.
So I'll do our terrible.
There's this Jewish guy who does title. He's always talking to himself, where's the mortgage? I can't find the mortgage.
Anyway, schmoop.com is, I don't know what it is. Every once in a while when I need to remember something about a book, it's like Cliff Notes or something like that, but it has kind of a hip vibe to it. Rollicking homework help, teacher research, rollicking homework help, teacher resources, and online test prep. That's what it is. Schmoop.com. So I went and I looked up the questions for study that they ask about Murder on the Orient Express, and I'm going to ask them to you guys to
Okay.
see if you're as smart as a schmoop.
Is this because Brandon asked for more homework?
Teacher, could we have more homework, please?
I know that was you.
In your homeschool?
Teacher, those 12 kids just murdered someone that deserved it.
By the way, what are we supposed to read for Monday? Is there extra credit?
That was you. Brandon, I'm going to meet you up by the flagpole after the bookening. I'm going to beat the crap out of you. I'm going to get Jake to hold you down.
No.
I'm going to take your lunch money.
Yeah.
And use it to subscribe to Schmoop, a wonderful online test. Do you like how I brought that back around, Danny? That's the kind of hosting that I do. I'm a regular master of hosting, a humble and obedient host, as we all know. So, question number 1. These are open to anyone.
So, like, do we need to buzz in or?
Yes, you need to buzz
buzzers.
You buzz in by saying buzz.
All right.
And I will call on you. I will say your name, and then you'll answer the question. Who did you think the murderer... This has a typo. Who did you think the murderer was? That's always good when your literary resource has typos in it. Who did you think the murderer was when you were reading the book?
This must have been written before the Renaissance.
Yeah. Obviously, people didn't know how to read.
Yeah. Who did I think that? Well, I knew who the murderer.
You let him buzz.
Buzz.
Brandon.
I can't answer this question. I already knew.
Okay.
I wasn't thinking. I was knowing.
Jake.
Buzz.
If I call on you, you don't have to buzz. But if you think you know the answer, you can buzz.
Although I call on him, and then
I do like having the power of making someone say the word buzz. But I'll go ahead and be nice and forego it.
I thought it was all of them.
But did you have any suspicions going into it? Like, did you ever lean one direction? Did you think it was the young ingenue, the governess lady, or her boring lover guy, or
no? I didn't like cycle through. I didn't have any judgments, and then I slowly figured out.
There you go, Danny. You were stirring that soup. You were reading Murder on the Orient Express, having a fine time of it. Who did you suspect as you did this? Who did you think the murder was? I'm going to say Ratchet.
I thought the murder was Ratchet. I was pretty sure. And I was right.
Good job.
I don't know, I had leanings toward the Swede and the German.
The Swede.
Knew it wasn't the Italian. Because Book was so sure it was the Italian.
Who thought? Oh, Book.
Monsieur
yeah.
Book.
Yeah.
Does Agatha Christie do that thing where there's a really obvious red herring in a lot of her books, or is she pretty good about if it really seems to lean towards someone, is it usually not them, or is it sometimes them?
She has so many books.
She has so many books.
She probably has both. I don't know.
She did everything.
She pretty much did everything. I will say I have read some Christies that have not been the best books ever. But
me too.
Yeah.
But there were 66 of them.
66.
So
66.
plus plays and etc.
And movie scripts. I think she wrote some movie scripts. I think she wrote the original 10 Little Indians from the 1940s, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't look that up beforehand. So you were leaning towards the Swede, the German, and the Italian.
No, not the Italian.
Not the Italian.
I knew it wasn't him.
Yeah, you knew it wasn't the Italian.
And there was some fishy stuff going on with the colonel and the governess, but it was all pretty equally fishy.
When Alex said, "I know who it is," that's my Alex impression. That's not really my Alex impression.
That was terrible.
Oh. I thought you were about to compliment it. I thought you were about to say...
My husband does not sound nice.
I thought you were going to be like, "Alex, where are you? You're in the room somewhere? Are you behind that?" When Alex said, "They all did it," were you like, "Oh, yeah, of course"? Or were you like, "Shut up, Alex, you're wrong"?
Well, I had already read it by that point.
Oh, okay. So
he read it just last night. He wanted to read it before I came on.
I see.
Or he read it the past couple of days. So I maintained a potentially knowing smile.
Got your poker face on, as the great Lady Gaga said.
Yep. Can't read my poker face.
Can't read my poker face. I don't remember how that song goes off the top of my head. Just that it has one lyric.
Real song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very famous one.
Can't read my
Poker face.
Something.
Yeah. Exactly.
Dubstep Danny.
Yeah, good old Dubstep Danny comes through.
Point with Dubstep.
Dubstep Danny and the mom who's a bomb of reading are still in contention here. We'll see what the twist ending. Maybe she'll be a third thing that no one expected. What was that? Okay.
Question number 2.
Were you able to solve the mystery before Poirot did? We already covered that. Or were you surprised when Poirot revealed the culprits, Danny?
I don't know if I'd say I was surprised because it made sense.
I know whether you would say you were surprised. You wouldn't. Okay, question number 2. Those were all actually lumped into one question. This is a good question. If you had to rewrite Murder on the Orient Express for the 21st century, where would you set it and why? Don't all buzz at once.
Oh, man.
This is for 4-year-olds. I think Schmoop.com
is helping me study.
Where would you rewrite it and why?
On a boat in the Congo.
I didn't hear any buzzing.
Buzz. Okay. On a boat in
Jake,
the Congo.
I didn't call on you yet. Jake, where would you write it? If you had to rewrite Murder on the Orient Express, where would you rewrite it and why?
On a boat in Cambodia.
Wrong. It's called Murder on the Orient Express. It wouldn't make any sense. What a dumb way to rewrite Murder on the Orient Express. Everyone would be like, why is it on a boat?
The boat's name would be the Orient Express.
Ah, very clever. Maybe that's the twist at the end.
We've been on the Orient Express this whole time.
It's weird that no murders happened.
And then they would all murder Kurtz together.
Right.
Yeah.
Brandon, if you had to
I have
rewrite
to answer.
Murder
I
on the
didn't
Orient Express. Wait, on a bus? Is that what you said?
I didn't buzz.
Oh, you didn't buzz. Well, that's okay. I can call it. I can make you give an answer.
Okay, I would make it on... Are there subways in Chicago?
One of the subways in Chicago?
Are there subways in Chicago?
There's the
They got
L.
the L.
The elevator
Yeah,
train.
I'd be on the L in Chicago.
Murder on the L in Chicago?
Yeah. Sure.
If I was...
It had to be on the Orient Express.
Is there an Asian driving the L?
Jake wants me to
Yes.
hold you to the logic that I held him to.
It
Jake,
would be on...
Jake is all about the rule of law, as we learned.
It'd be on one of those bullet trains in Asia.
Brandon, it's on the Orient Express. Wrong again. You have to set it on the Orient Express.
Well, I would set it on the Orient Express.
Correct.
And I'd have Kenneth Branagh do the murder. I don't know.
You'd have to, if you were going to plan a murder and you were all going to kill Ratchet, I think the L in Chicago might be a poor place to plan to do that.
Everybody can see you.
Right? There's like glass and
I
everything.
don't know. If Chicago's kind of ruled by the mob, right? So, you know, if you had mob ties, you could get away with it.
That is true. If there's one thing we know about Chicago.
But Ratchet was in the mob, wasn't he?
What if he was out? What if he was, you know, on the outs? What if there was a rival mob? What if...
Yeah.
Just get
This is good. This
the
is
New
good.
York mob to come in and, you know, somebody that whose territory he's been
I
encroaching
think
on.
we're just writing The Sopranos right now.
So if you had to rewrite Murder on the Orient Express in the 21st century, you'd create an HBO show called The Sopranos.
There we go.
It's a very wicked show, and I'm ashamed of you.
Buzz.
Oh, Danny, I'll call on you. Danny, if you had to rewrite Murder on the Orient Express for the 21st century, where would you set it and why?
I would set it on a train called the Orient Express.
Okay.
I don't think Yugoslavia is currently a country, is it?
Oh, ooh, I don't know.
No, I think you're right.
Can you look it up for us, Jake? Por favor? Or parlez-vous?
Wasn't that part of the war?
S'il vous plaît?
S'il vous plaît?
It's Slovenia.
Slovenia?
No.
According to the same Wikipedia that gave us that fine quote earlier
Yes,
today,
indeed.
Yugoslavia was a country in Southeast Europe during most of the 20th century. It came into existence after World War I.
What is it now?
Yeah, I don't even
I
know.
this is as suspenseful as an Agatha Christie book.
I'm on the
It's kind of hard
edge of my seat.
telling. There's been like a lot of breakups and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of breakups.
I took a
a lot of
class
breakups,
on the Balkans.
So the
10 years
successor
ago.
states to the former Yugoslavia are the following: Serbia, Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Slovenia, Montenegro, Macedonia, and Kosovo.
What did I say? I said Slovenia.
It's true.
Wait, but it's in Kosovo. Kosovo's what it is now?
Oh, it's all of those places.
All of those
it's
places.
Okay.
Yes.
So I think I would pick whichever one of those would seem to have the worst police force at the moment.
And you'd rewrite it.
And yep, I would just change whatever the name of the country is whenever it appeared in the book.
Would you update the characters? Would Monsieur Perot be a woman? Mistress Perot? How do you say Monsieur for women?
Madame.
Would he be Madame Perot?
No.
You could score a lot of points with the liberal.
No interest.
No interest in scoring points with the liberals.
I think I'd probably make the colonel so that he wasn't recently in India since the Brits don't occupy India anymore.
That would be smart. Maybe he was in Afghanistan or Iraq, much like John Watson was
A la
in
Sherlock.
Sherlock. Question number 3. What is the difference between revenge and justice?
Oh, no.
Anybody want to buzz in on this? I don't think anyone knows. No one knows the difference between revenge and justice. I hope you guys don't decide to murder me.
Justice is a cruel
Do you have to buzz
mistress.
first?
Buzz.
Brandon.
Justice is a cruel mistress, and revenge is a dish best cold served. Served cold.
Fantastic answer. We'll go on to question number 4. Question number 4. Poirot relies mainly on psychology and logic to solve crimes. How is detective work different today? Parenthetical comment. Think of shows like CSI.
Buzz.
Danny.
I don't actually have precisely the answer to that, but it reminds me of another thing I was going to say.
Oh, thanks.
So as much as Christie liked Conan Doyle and those kinds of detective novels, Poirot had great disdain for what he called foxhounds. So there's a book, I think it's Murder on the Links, where there's a competing detective
Nice.
who, so he's crawling around on the ground and he finds like a match and a coin from South America and he finds all these things and he's certain he's going to beat Poirot. But Poirot still figures it out. And none
You
of
know
those,
what?
none
You
of those
just
things that he did.
made my estimation of Agatha Christie go up again. You're amazing.
And then at the end of that, after he beat that guy, Poirot got a little statue of a foxhound and put it up on his mantle.
See, he's kind of a jerk, though.
He's kind of pompous, which is appropriate that Kenneth Branagh.
That is actually one of the reasons I don't like Agatha Christie is I just really wouldn't want to hang out with Miss Marple or Poirot. But
Miss Marple is smarter than she acts.
I know, but
she's clever.
She acts like dumb.
Sometimes.
I guess if she'd let down the shield and let me in, if she'd let me see the real Miss Marple, then but if she...
You just can't read her poker face.
Yeah, exactly. But Agatha Christie doesn't have that, and I hate that. The 37 different kinds of tobacco ash that you have to know if you're going to actually keep up with Sherlock Holmes, those famous things. Agatha Christie, I guess there's probably novels where you have to know the properties of certain poisons and stuff like that. But by and large, any Agatha Christie, I don't know, I'm thinking here, Brandon, Danny can tell me whether I'm right or wrong. She just told me she doesn't have a bunch of junk like that. She doesn't have a bunch of foxhounds. I don't like foxhounds either.
Wait, you do or you don't?
I don't.
Oh, so you like Agatha Christie more?
Yeah.
Right on.
No, I'm saying she's gone. You keep pointing out dumb things that Agatha Christie doesn't have, and it makes me happy. And
it's all about the psychology of the murder.
Right.
As opposed to the CSI.
Yeah.
To get back to your question.
Yeah. Buzz.
There's also faulty reasoning that's how detective work actually happens in anywhere.
Right.
So I don't think that CSI is based on reality. Yeah. So you're telling me I can't solve a crime with a computer that can blow up a satellite picture really well.
Okay, we've established the difference between revenge and justice. We've established how detective work is different today than it was back then. Yeah. All right, we're almost done. We got 3 more questions to go. Oh, this is an even better one. You guys ready for this?
Yeah.
Hands on your buzzers.
Okay.
If you were a character on the Orient Express, who would you be and why?
We get to choose who we'd be? It'd be more interesting to have everyone
or
else
which one
choose
where we
who
actually
be.
are.
Oh, we all tell each other?
Let's not.
Oh, man, that just sounds like a recipe for if we want a murder to happen in this room.
Everyone knows who Poirot would be.
All right, we have to choose from ourselves. I would be... I don't want to be Ratchet. That'd be a bad choice. But I'm American, so I'd be Monsieur Book. You know, I'd be like, my friends are all really cool and smart. Like Poirot, I got Danny. She's a smart lady. Brandon, he knows about books. Jake, he's got all this spiritual and emotional insight. And all I want to do is help them get a good compartment on the train because they're my friends. A good compartment on the train that is the Bookening. That's what I'm doing right now.
That is beautiful.
I'm Monsieur Book.
Merci, Monsieur Book.
Parlez-vous. Parlez-vous, my darling. Danny, what character would you be?
I don't know. I might be the conflicted English governess or the do-gooding Swedish missionary.
You'd be the do-gooding Swedish missionary? Played by, in the old Finney version, what's her name? Ingrid Bergman? No, not Ingrid Bergman. What's the name of Humphrey Bogart's girlfriend in Casablanca? That gal.
Catherine Hepburn?
No.
Casablanca. I've seen African Queen.
It is Ingrid Bergman. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it
Ingrid
is.
Bergman, played by Ingrid Bergman.
She plays the Swedish missionary?
I do believe so. She's a little old.
And Lauren Bacall.
And Lauren Bacall plays the princess, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, the Russian.
But she's supposed to be ugly.
Yeah, she is. She's supposed to be kind of toad-like.
Toad-like, yes. Anthony Perkins is in there of Psycho fame.
It's good.
It's good. It's Sean Connery plays one of them. I forget who.
That is awesome.
Yeah, he's very Sean Connery-ish.
The Colonel.
The Colonel, probably.
Probably the Colonel.
Yeah. I would love to watch that movie again. We should watch that movie together.
Let's do it.
Live stream.
Yeah. Will you live stream with us?
I'd come watch it.
Nice.
Let's do it. It's not going to happen anytime soon, probably.
Alex and I might watch it first.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Another night at the movies with the Bookening.
Movies with the Bookening. We still haven't gotten around to our Apocalypse Now episode. We accidentally watched Apocalypse Now for the Bookening.
It just accidentally happened.
Yeah. You accidentally watched it?
It was probably a mistake, but
now we've watched it.
You're
You're not going to broadcast you guys watching it.
No.
We're not going to we've already broadcast the fact that, hey, next time we're going to watch Apocalypse Now. We already did that, so it's too late to pretend like we didn't watch it. But now we just have to be like, we watched it, but you shouldn't. How's it feel to hear that from us? Who would you be, Brandon?
Oh, man. I'd be the valet who sits at the end of the
You could be that police officer that drops Poirot off and is like, I'm so sick of talking to this guy, but I have to do all the pretenses of...
Oh, the French
That is pretty fitting.
military.
Yeah, that's me.
Just like you're in the company of greatness and you don't even know it.
You both keep saying the same things over and over
Get on
again.
the train.
You're very peripheral, involved in awesome things.
Brandon, I could see you as a train conductor.
As the train conductor.
I could see you that. I could see you pulling that whistle and
Honk, honk.
shoveling some coal into the thing, Mickey Mouse style.
There we go.
Like on Steamboat Willie. That was on a train. Jake, which character would you be?
I have no idea.
Jake, just say it.
The secretary, maybe?
We know who you want to be.
Poirot.
The one and only Monsieur Hercule Poirot.
No, thanks.
Effete? British?
Well, that is...
Or not British. Belgian?
Not that.
Your favorite type of
one
waffle?
of-
Do
one
you
of
like
two.
Belgian waffles?
I do like Belgian waffles.
It all makes it
I don't
with
think
the shoe
they're from
fits.
You grow pretty great facial hair.
Yeah, you grow great facial hair. If there's one thing that Jake does, it's grow great facial hair. Something that people can't appreciate on the Bookening because it's not a video cast. You wouldn't be an effete Belgian, Jake, but you'd be a good mystery solver. You'd use your keen, penetrative insight into human nature,
Your psychological abilities.
your acumen,
Psychological abilities.
psychological abilities. Yeah. Pretty sure everyone has. Since the Renaissance, everyone has had psychological abilities. Before that, all bets were off. All right, we're almost done, guys. Just hang in there. I guarantee you nothing interesting will happen after these questions.
Oh boy.
If you were a character, all right, 2 to go. Why did Agatha Christie set the murder on a train? What does the train symbolize in the novel?
Buzz.
Danny?
She sat on a train because it was interesting and it fit the plot and it symbolizes nothing.
Wow. Bold words.
Shots fired.
You were angry.
I was.
This is dredging up really awful memories of junior year English class, trying to study Emily Dickinson.
There's one thing we tried to do on the Bookening. It's dredge up memories of senior year English class.
Junior year.
Oh, junior year. That's even worse. Yeah, teacher. Brandon.
Well, I think she said it on a train because a train represents passing through all these different diverse countries, and there she could have a setting, a little mini world on her train.
That was a great job, Brandon.
Thank you.
I'm going to give you a B because I've totally checked out of my job. I've got 10 years to go until my pension. You know what? B's for everybody.
It also represents the passing of time.
You know what? I'm going to give you an A. You'll work at McDonald's your whole life. And you know what? I'm going to give a homework assignment because you made me ask one for Christmas. But you little...
Schmoop.
I mean, seriously.
It's like the reverse dead.
The other students are right to hate you. If 12 of these students were to stab you, I wouldn't report it to the principal, Brandon. And I sort of hope they do. That's my impression of every teacher ever that I had.
Yep.
In your face, Mrs. Cornwall.
Therapy with the Bookening now.
Yeah.
This is getting dark.
If I can just get my aggression out towards the educational system. Jake, what question am I asking? I will tell you some interesting trivia about Agatha Christie. Her second husband was an archaeologist. They traveled all kinds of interesting places. She had really been to almost all the exotic locations that she describes in her novels, and it provided a lot of color and interest to her novels, and she was always grateful for the opportunity. She had a very nice relationship, I believe, with her second husband. They got along quite well. She said the good thing of her famous quote was, the good thing about being married to an archaeologist is they become more interested in you as you grow older. Get it, Danny?
It's good.
Hilarious.
It's good. She was a comedian, too.
Right, yeah. She was good at everything, this woman. She's like a regular Wonder Woman. I'm losing my voice now, but it doesn't have anything to do with that coffee. All right, final question. What is the significance of America in Murder on the Orient Express?
Buzz.
Danny.
It's a melting pot or a tossed salad, whichever metaphor you prefer.
I prefer salad.
Because we don't all become one. We still retain our individual cultures, even
Can there be
within the
blue
salad.
cheese on the salad?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
What is in this pot, and does it survive the melting process?
I don't know, I think.
Was there soup? Is there soup all over the floor now?
Have you had fondue before?
Yeah.
Like the melting pot, you throw all the cheese in, it all becomes one big mass of deliciousness.
So the pot itself is not melting.
No, the stuff in the pot.
The stuff in the pot, like in the aforementioned fondue. Did you know that I'm going to write a mystery novel called The Aforementioned Fondue?
And I will read it.
Will you?
Uh-huh.
It's going to have a wonderful plot,
I'm excited.
good dialogue,
Great.
an eccentric detective,
Great.
who's going to solve a mystery.
Will it have rich characterization?
It will have only the richest for you, my reader.
Thrilling.
It will have good dialogue,
Excellent.
great descriptions,
Great.
and the murderer will be, I guess, fondue, since the name of the novel is the aforementioned fondue.
Or maybe the weapon was found in fondue.
That's actually what happened. There's a garrote found in this fondue.
A garrote. What's a garrote?
A garrote? I don't know. That thing that you strangle people with in gangster movies. Garrote. I've only ever read the word. I've never heard it pronounced. There's piano wire that they used to strangle someone in the fondue. Do you know who did it?
I don't.
Want to take a guess?
The rich old lady.
Crap. I'll have to change the ending. I didn't realize it was that obvious. Brandon.
Yeah.
What is the significance of America and murders on the Orient Express?
There was only one murder.
Oh, yeah.
There is no significance.
Good answer. Jake, what is the significance of Murder on the Orient Express?
Yeah, there's no significance. I don't. It's a melting pot.
It's a melting pot.
That's
Come
the
on.
significance.
Some schmoop editor worked hard on this.
Sorry, schmoop.
All right, well, I think our podcast is about to draw to a close. Oh no! I just remembered the Jerome Bentley, the famous podcast critic. He's been waiting outside the studio the whole day. I better go see what he's up to.
Oh.
What's his name? Jerome Bentley?
Something.
Oh no! Jerome Bentley has been murdered!
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Brandon, come
What?
outside with me and observe the body.
Here I come.
Let's ride our horses. Now let's ride back. Now, Jake and Danny, you guys go see the horses on motorcycles. Or the horses, the body of Jerome Bentley, the podcast critic.
Vroom, vroom.
Zim, 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 zim.
You're on one of those little
Vespa.
European
Vespa, yeah.
like,
Zim, 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 zim.
all right, we've all looked at Jerome Bentley, the famous podcast critic's body. Brandon, describe how he was murdered. I think our listeners would like to try and solve the mystery with us.
I have to describe this.
You do?
A garrote.
A garrote, hey?
A garrote.
He was garroted to death?
He was garroted to death.
How could you tell?
Well, his neck was garroted. As one does with a garrote.
Now, there were 3 interesting clues. Jake, you found the first clue while on your motorcycle. You just texted me.
That's right, I did, yeah.
What was that clue?
The murder weapon was on his body,
Like actually around his neck.
still around his neck,
That's a good clue.
along with the hand of the murderer.
Oh, wow.
Hand. Oh, wow.
Wow. All right. I'm going to put that in the old gray
Or the
cells.
hand of the presumed murderer.
Yeah. Someone could have cut off a hand and planted it on the scene in order to throw us off the track. Danny, you found the second clue. Describe it for us, please.
There was an emerald tie pin in his left shoe.
An emerald tie pin in his left shoe.
An emerald diamond.
Exactly.
An emerald.
It should not-
Emerald what?
Tie pin.
Tie pin.
A pin
tie
that goes on your tie.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jerome Bentley was known for his famously eccentric habit of filling his shoes with tie pins.
No, well, he never wore a tie in his life. You know that.
You're a big fan of podcast
Somebody
critics.
wears ties, but not him.
Someone wears ties. So it could someone missing a hand very recently who's wearing a tie. Why did it fall into his shoe, though?
Well, that's your job. You have the gray cells.
I didn't say I had the gray cells. We have to solve this murder together.
Oh, okay.
Brandon, you found the third clue.
Uh-huh.
I think this might be the crucial clue.
Yeah. It on the hand around the carrot, dried fondue cheese.
Wow.
The aforementioned.
The aforementioned fondue.
Aforementioned fondue.
This is like the plot of the aforementioned fondue.
Yeah, it's almost like that might have been a confessional.
We do have the garrote and the fondue.
I am missing my left hand.
And you're wearing a collared shirt that looks
It's unbuttoned.
That's unbuttoned. And the tie's missing.
Like perhaps
Who has
you
ever
had to
seen me
throw
wear
away
a
a
tie
bloody
here,
tie.
though?
I have seen you wear a tie.
For a wedding.
I've seen you wear a tie.
For a wedding.
Yes.
You went to a wedding today, didn't you?
I think he did.
Yeah.
Crap.
Nathan, is it time to confess?
All right. I did it. I garroted. Famous podcast critic Jerome Bentley.
Was he going to give us a bad review?
No, that's the funny thing. He was going to give us a great review. This was going to like make millions of dollars for us. None of us were ever going to have to work again, including Danny.
Somebody else would stir my soup.
You'd have a servant to stir your soup. But I didn't want to do that. And Jake is going to tell us why I didn't want that to happen with his keen psychological insight.
Because Mr. Jerome Bentley was going to insist that the star of the show was one Danny McNeely.
He was a big diversity fan.
Yeah.
He was not a
and
believer.
Nathan can't handle that.
He was coming to observe the performance of Danny. And I knew she was knocking it out of the park. We'd gotten done, and I realized he's going to hear this. I'm going to be up for grabs. I didn't even read the book this time. I mean, my job is on the line. Meanwhile, we need diversity. And so Jake has used his keen spiritual insight. Brandon, use your keen literary mind to tell us how I did it.
Oh, no. How you did it?
Yeah.
It was all a ruse with you leaving the room. I don't know exactly how garrets work because I don't know what a garret is. But somehow, in those 10 seconds, you managed to go in and let him know that we were done. He turned around to grab his bag, and you garroted him from behind.
Every detail startling in its accuracy.
Yeah.
Danny, using your knowledge of stirring things, explain how I got fondue in my hand
You lost your hand.
and why I lost it while
I guess that
fonduing.
should have been my detail.
You had stashed the garret in the fondue, of course, so that Mr. Bentley wouldn't find it. And as you ran in there, because he was obviously snacking on fondue, waiting for us to finish.
We always provide fondue.
As a good host,
Right.
Like I've been snacking on fondue,
Right.
and you reached your hand into the fondue to grab the garret, and he had his trusty meat cleaver with him.
But I still managed to garret him one-handed.
Because you are fast.
Yeah, no, I'm just that good.
As your hand was still holding on to the garret.
Yep.
Well, it was two-handed. It was a two-handed garret. It was a two-handed garret.
Two-handed garret.
It was a two-handed garret.
Yeah.
And he managed to do it one-handed.
Yeah,
After the other one hand was cut. Yeah.
She's a bit of a foxhound.
Yeah.
She likes to pay attention to garret types and sizes. And
Yeah.
I confess, now I think there's a real moral dilemma that you guys have to decide. Are you going to turn me into the authorities? Danny's going with a quick yes here.
Yep.
You're turning him in?
Yeah.
Brandon, I'll offer you everything.
We'll turn you in for not turning him in.
Okay, sorry,
don't
bud. You're going to the authorities.
Okay, I'm under Bookening jurisdiction, and they have famously shabby police force. I'll probably get off, if I had to guess, with a fine of $25 and being hung by the neck until I'm dead.
Aw.
I'm sorry.
Should have thought about that before you did it.
Yeah.
So, Danny, would you mind taking Nathan's place on this show from now on, if that's how it turns out?
I wouldn't mind that at all.
There we go.
I can look up schmoop.com.
Can you say I'm your humble and obedient host?
I am your humble and obedient host.
How about
that's
hello,
not-
welcome to the Bookening.
Can you do the whole thing? You got it. What's your best of me impression?
I don't know if those impressions always go so well on the Bookening. Hello, welcome to the Bookening. I'm Danny McNeely, your humble and obedient
You're
host.
doing a good job, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Well, it really feels like this is the setup for me leaving the Bookening. And that would be true, except for one thing that you guys all didn't know. I have a gun.
The plot thickens. Yet another twist.
No one's going to be turning me into the authorities. Sorry, guys. I got a gun, and that means I have all the power. Good night, everybody. was written and produced by Nathan Alberson and performed by Nathan Alberson. Brendan Chastain's actually also here. He was on the Bookening today. He provided a lot of great insight and said some great things and said other things. And Jake Menzel's here, the pastor who's a master of reading.
Yo.
And very special guest star, the mom who's a bomb of reading, Danny McNeely. Yay! A fantastic dubstepper. You can hear that dubstep music right now. She's loving it. She's loving it. She's dancing. Does one dance to dubstep?
I have no idea.
Dubstep,
Totally.
Dubstep dancing. Dubstep dancy dance to.
Dubstep Dancing Danny. Triple D.
Dubstep Danny. Does it? Dances?
Indeed.
Oh, wait, I gotta go observe the blood splatter.
And I want to thank you guys all for being on. Thanks again, Danny. Yay. Thanks for listening, guys. Look us up on the social medias. I'm not going to tell you what they are. The Bookening has an Instagram now. It also has Twitter.